Have you ever heard someone say that the word homosexual was not originally in the Bible?
Oh, the word homosexual was never in the Bible. It wasn't in the Bible till 1946, and the word it replaced translates to pedophile. Wonder why they did it, must be a mystery.
They claim it didn't appear in the Bible until less than 100 years ago. Is that true? Well, yes. But what does that mean, actually? Is the Bible's seeming stance against same-sex relationships really just a modern invention? And those who truly honor the Bible should stop using the Bible to teach against LGBT lifestyles? Let's walk through all this carefully and respectfully. Where did the word homosexual come from? Before the word was used in modern Bible translations, older Bibles used words like sodomite or effeminate. Some scholars say that using homosexual was more influenced by the culture of the time than by the original languages of the Bible. So when we read the Bible in English, especially modern versions, we need to ask, is this word the best way to explain what the original text meant? Let's start with the Old Testament. In Genesis 19, where we read of the city of Sodom, some men come to Lot's house and say they want to know his guest. The Hebrew verb here for know, yada, can sometimes mean sexual relations. Lot's reaction, offering his daughters instead, shows that these men had violent, sinful intentions. Although these men were guilty of multiple sins, as Ezekiel 16 points out later in the Bible, like in Jude 7, Sodom is charged clearly with sexual sin. What happens in Judges 19 is similar. A group of men surrounds a house and demands a man be brought out so they can know him. Again, the Bible condemns what happens, not just for the violence, but also because of the sexual behavior involved. So are these verses only about homosexuality? Not exactly. They're also about violence and power, but they do show that same-sex behavior is part of what the Bible is addressing in these passages. In Leviticus 18, verse 22, the Bible says, "You shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It's an abomination." A couple of chapters later, it says, "If a man lies with a male as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination." Leviticus 20, verse 13. The word abomination sounds harsh, but it means something that is morally wrong. In this context, it's speaking about sexual behavior between men. The Bible says this kind of behavior was not approved of by God. But again, it's focusing on behavior, not feelings or temptations. The Bible isn't saying that someone who experiences same-sex attraction is automatically sinning, only that acting on it sexually is forbidden by God. This is where someone might say, why are you picking and choosing which passages to obey? Doesn't the Old Testament also say you should kill those who are sexually immoral? What about dietary restrictions or rules about how to make your clothing? Why just pick on the subject of homosexuality? That's a fair question, but we've actually already addressed it through a few videos on the channel. We'll link the playlist in the description. The short answer is that the law of Moses in the Old Testament, which does mention farming regulations, dietary restrictions, and worship practices that Christians seemingly ignore. However, the law of Moses was never meant to apply to Christians. Instead, it was strictly for the Israelites. Christians are bound under the new covenant, made by Jesus himself. Therefore, let's jump to the New Testament. In Romans 1:26 and 27, the Apostle Paul writes about people turning away from God and doing things against nature. He says, women exchange the natural use for that which is against nature. Likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust for one another, men with men committing what is shameful. This is the only passage that directly mentions female same-sex relations in the Bible. The Greek phrase against nature here doesn't just mean unusual. It refers to actions that go against God's intended design. Again, Paul is describing behavior, not temptation. That's an important distinction. Two more passages people talk about are 1 Corinthians 6, verses 9 and 10, and 1 Timothy 1, verse 10. In these lists of sinful behaviors, Paul uses two Greek words, malakoi, which means soft or effeminate, and arsenokotai, a word that combines male and bed, referring to men having sex with other men. These words refer to both partners in a same-sex relationship, the passive partner and the lead partner. Some newer translations try to clarify this more specifically, but here's the big idea. The Bible focuses on what people do, not just how they feel. That distinction matters when we talk about sin, forgiveness, and grace. So is the word homosexual misleading? The word homosexual is modern. It wasn't in the Bible's original languages. It was added to English Bibles only in the last century, replacing older English words like sodomites or effeminate that were used in earlier translations. Does that mean the Bible has been mistranslated? Not exactly, but it means we need to be careful and thoughtful when we read and interpret it. These Bible verses talk about sexual behavior between those of the same sex, not just identity or attraction. Using only one word like homosexual can make the meaning seem too broad or too vague. A better translation might be one that helps people understand exactly what actions the Bible is talking about. This is a sensitive and personal topic for many people. The Bible does speak about same-sex behavior, and it calls it sin, just like it does with other sexual sins and moral failures. But the message of the Bible is also about grace, forgiveness, and transformation. So let's be clear, but also kind. If you're wrestling with this topic, whether for yourself or someone you love, know that God's truth is always paired with His love. And no matter what our past looks like, Jesus invites us into something better. Here's a question many people are struggling with today. Can I be a Christian and be gay? To look into that further, check out this video right here.